So guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I'll be explaining the poem The Slave Auction, written by Francis Watkins Harper. So here the poet has described the plight of the slaves who were put on auction in earlier times. Black people were treated badly and cruelty by white people since the first time they were brought to America between 1619 to 1865. And this poem also it has written between these times. The first paragraph it says, the sale began, young girls were there, defenseless in their wretchedness. It means that the sale had begun of young girls, and they were being sold by their masters. And the writer uses some words that show how the girls, when the auction happens, they can't do anything except to accept it and crying by themselves. Defenseless in their wretchedness means that they can't do anything except to accept it, and whose stifled sob of deep despair revealed their anguish and distress. It means that the sale has started and the young girls, they are either witnessing it or being auctioned. So suppressed, they are so suppressed that they couldn't do anything to save or defend themselves or their loved ones. They are only suffering, and they are depressed, and they are helpless. There is no one to help them. The second paragraph, and mothers stood with streaming eyes and saw their dearest children sold. Unheeded rose their bitter cries, while tyrants battered them for gold. The writer here shows how miserable the mothers were when they saw their children being sold and tyrants who bartered them with gold. They were looking how heartless the masters were, and their cries were being ignored very easily. Tyrants here refers to the cruel and oppressive rulers who didn't have any pity for them. Third paragraph says, and woman with her love and truth, for these in sable forms may dwell, gazed on the husband for her youth, with anguish none may paint or tell. Here the poet has taken plight of the wives whose husbands were being sold. They were helpless, not able to defend them. They just gazed at them, and sorrow was beyond any narration or depiction. They remembered their old times when her heart is heavy and her husband is being sold, and nobody can understand the terrible pain she is suffering. No one can describe the pain she feels when she watches her husband being sold. She loves him so much and remains true to him no matter what happens, because love and truth are two true feelings, eternal, and are permitted to dwell, which means live in black people in sable forms. The fourth para, and men whose sole crime was their hue, the impress of their maker's hand, and frail and shrinking children too were gathered in that mournful band. Here, the poet tries to explain that men who were put on auction, their only fault was that they were born black. They didn't have any other fault. They were innocent. Their freedom was only dependent on their skin color. But here the it's unfortunately it's God who decided to make them black. And frail and shrinking children too, it means that not only the young people and adults were there, but the innocent fragile children were also at sale irrespective of their age. The fifth para, ye who have laid your love to rest and wept above their lifeless clay, know not the anguish of their breast, whose loved are rudely torn away. Here the poet tries to express the emotions of those who were departed from loved ones, where it was unimaginable. They have no hope that they will meet them at some point of time, and they have no idea how they will be treated. They were weeping over their miseries. They are standing like lifeless statues, as if they are made of clay. We can't imagine the pain of those whose relatives have been taken far away from them. So, last para. Ye may not know how desolate our bosoms rudely forced to apart, and how a dull and heavy weight will press the life drops from the heart. Here, the poet has tried to explain that the families will not get anything but lose the bread earners of their family, the only bread earners, the only source of income of their families, their husbands, their brothers. It means it's the only men. We can't imagine their suffering, anguish, pain when they are trying to console themselves, when their loved ones are being taken away from them. So the feelings are quite unimaginable, we can say, and their masters are so heartless, and the situations of the slaves is quite pathetic. So this was the explanation of the poem. See you with the next video. Till then, goodbye.